At the end of the first half, obviously, England were winning, and I did put a sly glance over to Di and said, "You all right, Di?" She said yes, and I was even more confident then. But
they were all bouncing around the English fans around us, giving us loads of grief, singing all the Swing Low, Sweet Chariots all the time.
It was starting to slip away from us. The feeling was that we'd had a great day, but it wasn't going to end well.
We still didn't give up hope, though. We never give up hope.
We're still in this game, we're not too far away. If we can keep on going, we never know what's going to happen. I love you all the
same. You just knew with the players we had that anything could happen.
There's a couple of players that do stick out. Obviously, Scott Quinnell, big lumper of a guy. Gavin Jenkins, quite a dependable sort of when it's a bull boy, only crossed the mountain.
Rob Howley's one of my favourite players ever. He could just do anything on the pitch. And of course, Scott Gibbs had been the man of the tournament in the British Lions, and we knew that he could get in amongst them and do really well.
And Shane Howarth, who was a magician at the back. You're just waiting for something to happen, really.
And the crowd settles down for a thrilling 40 minutes as Mike Catt gets the second half started.
The mistakes were still there. They were creeping in the first half, and they were still there in the second half. So there was that element of, well, if they can't make mistakes, then maybe there's a way in.
This is Howarth. Oh, and Howarth, that's a very big kick away over Neil Back's head. Oh, and he'd knocked it forward, and the referee, Andre Watson, has seen it.
We had a lot of respect for Shane Howarth, and we knew that he was going to do something that day because he was determined.
Jenkins, almost through, great tackle by Neil Back. Howley, taken there by Jarvis. But laid back by Scott Quinnell. Neil Jenkins, a great chance, it's a try for Howard. Neil Jenkins.
As we're all sat around the TV, Wales got an early try. The worry started to come back.
The people around us were very, it was very good. This was still England's game, and they were going to probably score another 5 tries in response, so this piddly little try for Wales didn't matter.
A penalty to England. Going to be a penalty. Referee was playing advantage. Bit of ill-mannered booing, but it doesn't put him off.
England are still well in control of the game, 6 points ahead.
We stayed within touch of them for most of the second half, even though they were rampant. We performed heroically, they were all over us, our defence, Shane Howarth catching the ball.
Howarth was brilliant, and he called for the mark. You can do that in mid-air, and that was brilliant work by the All Black.
But England were going to win, they were going to win comfortably.
The whole of Wales calling for the side to reach that little bit higher. 6 points adrift. England heading, it seems, for another Grand Slam.
You'd seen Scott Gibbs out playing for the Lions, and he would be smashing people and making breaks. And today, there was this sense of inevitability that he was going to get stuck.
Scott Gibbs has moved across. Jenkins gave it to Scott Gibbs, almost got through.
I was firmly convinced that the answers to our problems did not lie in a crash ball from Scott Gibbs in the middle of the park.
5 men, and Wyatt goes once more. Howley, Jenkins, Scott Gibbs.
Scott Gibbs taking on the England midfield and losing the ball. It's an awesome defence.
The prospect of a long journey home was looming. That impending doom of we're going to have another failure here, another game lost.
And that's dangerous.
Very close to the end of time, the 80 minutes. They got a penalty, a perfectly kickable penalty for young Johnny Wilkinson.
The think tank of England at the time was Dawson and Delalio, before Martin Johnson had got the captaincy. I think if Johnson had been captain, I think we'd have gone for the 3 points, but Delalio and Dawson wanted to really finish off the Welsh in style.
England opted not to take the 3 points and put into the corner.
I really could not believe they went for touch, because Johnny Wilkinson was kicking brilliantly, and that would have sealed the match.
We was around all the England fans and they were all like, oh, we're going to stick it up a jumper, we're going to score, we're going to put it out the away, and he's sending you home packing.
There's the roll.
With England, there was always this confidence about them.
The White Warriors pressing again.
The arrogance of the likes of Matt Dawson, looking in front of him, he thought he pressed the sword. 3 points weren't enough. Should have taken him. Big mistake.
Jenkins almost away.
We just felt that if we could get up the field, get some field position, who knows.
Jenkins, Charves. And that was a thumping tackle by Rodber. The Dutch judge has suggested that it was a dangerous tackle, and that's what's given Wales the penalty. They've played about a minute and a half of injury time at the end of the game. England leading 31 points to 25. Jenkins prods Wales up to right on the England 22. The Welsh support, thousands of them here, in a 76,000 capacity crowd, trying to lift their team for one final effort.
Garin threw it up to Mr. Tickle, Chris Wyatt. Wyatt took it cleanly.
Nice little pass off the top, straight into the hands of Robert Howley.
There was the little stutter from Scott Quinnell when he gave the pass.
Nobody's seen Scott Gibbs come in like a bullet from a gun.
Life started to go in slow motion from that point. Stepped, sidestepped.
He was like a little ferret and actually got two players to bump into each other.
The entire stadium was igniting around us.
The roar was just incredible. It was really, really thunderous. Made the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. It was brilliant.
We just went mental up in under the stand. The English fans were just so quiet, you could just hear us screaming from the rafters.
The try was probably one of the better tries that you will see in a game of rugby. But it was probably the most important try that that guy will ever score.
Tables were flying everywhere, chairs were flying everywhere, because everybody was just jumping in jubilation.
Everybody else was sort of jumping around me, and I remember thinking, right, we haven't won the game yet.
But the goal has still got to be kicked.
Before Jenks took the kick, I felt so sick.
Jenks had a fairly difficult conversion because Scott Gibbs hadn't bothered going under the post or anything. He had so much confidence in Neil Jenkins' kicking.
Everybody was shouting Neil Jenkins, miss, miss, miss.
When Jenkins scored, it was absolutely amazing. I swear I can still feel that feeling inside me.
The place exploded, it erupted, but England still had time.
Can you imagine a more dramatic closing sequence? It's not over yet. 32 points to 31. They've played almost 4 minutes of injury time.
After Neil's wonderful conversion, we were all really so excited, but then suddenly worried because England had got it again and it looked like it was going to be a drop goal.
England get the boot in this time.
Set up a driving maul for Johnny to pop a goal over. But unfortunately, it fell into the hands of Mike Catt, who absolutely shanked his drop goal attempt.
Shane Howarth called the mark, kicked it straight out.
I heard the first part of the whistle, but I didn't hear the end of it because the noise was deafening.
What a moment that was. It was probably my finest moment watching Wales play rugby.
I think it's one of them games that'll live on forever. I don't think there's ever going to be a time where people are not going to talk about it.
We watch the highlights every year of that Pacific try, and we still cheer now as much as we cheered on the day. It's like as if it's just happening in front of you.
A bust by Scott Gibbs. Scott Gibbs is through. Scott Gibbs has scored. What an amazing try.
Well, yeah, 20 years. It's amazing. It's half my life away.
I felt so proud to be a Welshman that day.
I am really glad that I was there.
Those players, those legends of the game, Gibbs, Jenkins, it's just something that will stick in the memory forever.
As long as we beat the English. And we did. And we did.